chapter. Okay, so chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga, the opulence of the absolute. So Vibhuti Yoga means Krishna's glories, Krishna's divine glories. So Vibhuti Yoga comes under chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita. Here, Lord Krishna is declaring that his origin is not even known to gods or sages. No devatas know his origin. In 9th chapter, we learned about the loving devotion of God. So in this chapter, Lord Krishna is desiring, he wants to increase Arjuna's bhakti. So we'll learn how to know Krishna is unknowable and source of all. Then Chatushloki we will see, which are very important 4 verses. Arjuna here accepts Krishna as the supreme. Lord Krishna describes his vibhuti. So he will tell all this in this chapter. So what is yoga? Yoga means connecting to God, right? So how many types of yogas are there? What all chapters did we do so far? Any idea? Anybody remembers? We did karma yoga, then
Ashtanga yoga.
Yes. Yes.
Yoga,
But then Jnana yoga.
Jnana
Yes.
Vijnana Yoga.
Jnana yoga. Very good. Very good. Hare Krishna. Okay. Please raise your hands, all of you. So one by one, you will get to read. Okay. Everybody will get a chance. One screen, one slide, each person. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Bhuya Eva Mahabhavo Shrunu Me Paramam Vachaha Yatte Ham Priyamanaya Vakshami Hita Kamyaya. Yes, please. Who will read? Anjal? Hare Krishna. Anjal, you are here? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
The Supreme Lord said, My dear friend, mighty armed Arjuna, listen again to my supreme word, which I shall impart to you for your benefit and which will give you great joy.
So Lord Krishna is the source of everything. So the word Bhagavan, again Bhagavanu Vacha, it was explained by Parashar Muni, right? Which means full of 6 opulences. What all 6 opulences did he have? Anybody remembers? Full of
Renunciation.
Yes.
Other the opulence of wealth, beauty,
Power.
power, strength. हो गया.
Yes.
Renunciation.
Yes. So he's
All
full of
beauty.
strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, renunciation, everything. Very good. So that is Bhagwan. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So while Krishna was on this earth, he displayed all the 6 opulences. So here he is using Yatte Ham Priyamanaya. So means he's implying you are my such beloved, Priya. You are my Priya, So I'm going to reveal this special knowledge to you, says Krishna. So what opulence does Krishna have?
All of the above.
All of the above. Okay, very good. Very nice. Okay. Now, please read, Lavanya Mataji, please read the translation.
Neither the hosts of demigod nor the great sages know my origin, for in every respect, he who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds he is, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins.
So yeah, neither the hosts of demigod nor the great sages know my origin, for in every respect, I am the source of demigods and sages. It's like, a father knows about the birth and the life of the son, right? Recently, one Mataji had a baby. So she knows that the baby was born because she has seen it, because she has witnessed it, right? But if you ask your baby to tell about your birth and your childhood, he won't know because he has not seen it. You have seen your child's birth, but the child has not seen your birth. Similarly, all the devatas, all the demigods, they all come from Krishna. So that's why Lord Krishna is telling over here that they don't know my origin. That he is the source of the demigod. They are born out of me. They don't know me, but I know them. I have seen. So God cannot be known by even heavenly devatas, as Krishna existed even before them. So whenever we water the tree, where do we water? Where do we water the tree?
Roots.
The roots. So Krishna is the origin. So we pray to him. Now, in this picture, who can you see over here? Who is sitting there?
Devki Mataji.
Devaki
Devaki.
Mataji. And who all came to visit? So many devatas.
All the
Can you-
demigods.
All
Can you
demigods.
recognize any?
Shiva,
Yeah,
Shiva,
Brahma,
Brahma,
yeah.
Narada Muni.
Narad
Narada.
Muni. So
Narad
many.
Lord
Mm.
Shiva.
Lord Shiva. Kartikeya also is there, right? Kartikeya is there. Then Hanuman is there. Yeah, so many devatas come to, meet her because Lord Krishna is there. So they will definitely come. Because Lord Krishna says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shanti mrichati. We did that in 5.29, remember? So he says he is sarvaloka maheshwaram. So devatas will come to him. It is not wrong to worship devatas. You can worship Saraswati, goddess of learning, Ganesha, who is Vigna Vinashak. We can worship, but indirectly we worship Krishna only because they originated from Krishna. Krishna did not originate from them, right? So we should know that Krishna is the ultimate source. All the rivers, whenever they are flowing, where do they ultimately end into? They ultimately join into the ocean. So Krishna has very different departments to handle. His power is there everywhere. He is giving them power. So if God himself is bestowing his grace upon someone, that fortunate soul, is so lucky, gets to know him, says Krishna. So if Krishna is known as the son of Devaki, then how can he be unborn? That's what people ask, right? So this is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, that when he appeared before Devaki and Vasudev, he didn't come as a child. He came in 4 Narayana Roop. He came in 4-armed Roop. So he then later on, after they prayed to him, he transformed himself into a small baby. So, and why was he born? Because Devaki and Vasudev wanted a child. They wanted a child like Krishna. Krishna came to give happiness to his devotees. And he could have sent any agent to kill Kamsa. But he was there, so he appeared for them and to do pastimes. Because anyway, I have come, so let me do something. So all those who come to know God, only because of his divine grace. We don't have that eyes. So to make distinction between the souls and himself, he declares, I am the Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He says, right? He says, Yoma Majamana Demcha Tiloka Maheshwaram. I am the Loka Maheshwaram. He is the supreme controller. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is our only best friend. And he is the source of everything. That's what Krishna is explaining over here. Who is the source of demigods and great sages?
Lord Krishna, option C.
Obviously, right? Krishna appeared first to Devaki and Vasudev
Original
In his
form.
original.
in his original form. Very good. Okay. Can you please read Muskan Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. One who is factually convinced of the opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt.
Unless one is firmly convinced of different opulences of Supreme Lord, he cannot engage in devotional service. We have to have that faith, that Shraddha, like yesterday we were discussing, that Shraddha needs to be there. Generally, people know, okay, God is great, right? But they do not know in detail how great God is. So there is a direct relationship between, knowledge and the love of devotion. Like if I give some precious stone to, let's say, I give my sister a precious stone. So she will not have any clue or knowledge about it. I have given her a stone. I say, okay, she has given me some gift. She won't have that love for it. But then I tell her that, you know what, I went to, where should I say I went? I went to Vrindavan, or I went to Himalayas, say. I went to Himalayas. I brought this from Lord Vishnu's temple from Badrinath. So after gaining that knowledge, the love and respect for the stone that I have given to her increases many folds. Then I will add to it, you know what happened? This stone, it was kept at the feet of the God. And then it has been worshipped for many years by a highly elevated souls. It's very old stone. Immediately after knowing that, she will take that and go and keep it in, a very nice place. Till then it was lying on the table. Then immediately it goes to God's room straight away. Because the love and after that knowledge, the love has increased much more than before. So what have we noticed? Each time the knowledge is increasing, the devotion also is increasing towards that stone. So similarly, the proper knowledge of God, the more the knowledge we are getting about the God, the more increase in devotion also happens. So Krishna is telling that those who become situated in this knowledge, the knowledge that is increasing naturally, they become united with him through unflinching bhakti. That kind of bhakti they get, he says. Okay. What is the effect after knowing that Krishna is great?
All of the above.
One fixes in devotional service.
Excellent. One fixes in devotional service. The moment you know Krishna is great, you become more devotional. The moment you get that knowledge. Now, these are 4 Chatushlokis, 4 important shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. 8, 9, 10, 11. These 4 verses of 10th chapter, these are called Chatushloki. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So these shlokas also I will read, and we will read the translation also. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Yes, Srinidhi Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, Vaishnavi Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Why should we worship Lord Krishna? I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who knows this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. 10.8. Hare
So this is essence of Bhagavad Gita, because Lord Krishna is sharing the topmost knowledge, and he's also opening his heart. He's revealing his heart now here. He is the Supreme Lord. His pure devotees are always absorbed in meditation, right? So of these 4 verses, in the first verse, Krishna is explaining why we should worship him. So he is beginning the verse with Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. I am the supreme truth, and I am the cause of all causes. Right? In Brahma Samhita, which I often quote, Brahma had already said, right? Infinite universes are there. Each universe will be having a Brahma, a Vishnu, and a Maheshwar, which have manifested from the pores of Mahavishnu. They have come out of Mahavishnu. So the pores of Mahavishnu's body, when he breathes in, and again dissolves into him when he breathes out. So that kind of Krishna, I worship Lord Krishna, of whom Mahavishnu is an expansion, says Lord Brahma. So Lord Krishna is, he's telling, I am the source of all the spiritual and material worlds. Both spiritual world source he is, and material world also source he is. Everything has come out of him. So those who can understand that and get engaged in the devotional service and worship with all the heart, because aham sarvasya prabhavo, he says, I am the cause of all causes. Now he goes on to explain how devotees worship him. Let's see how devotees worship him. Okay, Krishna is the source of dash world.
Both of the above.
Both of the above.
Both of the above, yes. Okay, so let's see the second one, how they worship. Machitta madhyata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Yes, who will read now? Who didn't get? Riya Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Mataji. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives were surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss enlightening one another and conversing about me.
So how do they do? Because devotees of the Supreme Lord, they are 24/7, they are engaged in glorifying the qualities. Whenever they are meeting each other, they are not going to talk, oh, what color sari did you buy? Where did you go shopping? What mobile do you have? No. They are all the time talking about, while going and coming, you should go to my appearance. The devotees are, whenever they're crossing each other, or when you cross somebody, they're busy talking to each other, and you try to listen to what they're talking. They're glorifying God. Oh, what did you study? Oh, you studied Bhagavatam, that shloka, but that shloka says this. So they are all the time engaged in that, glorifying qualities and pastimes of Supreme Lord. The devotees are like that. Their hearts, their souls, everything is submerged in Krishna. It's like, completely like a sponge, soaked in Krishna's love. And they take so much pleasure in discussing with other devotees that oh, you read that chapter, oh, that chapter discusses this, what about this I did not understand, Prabhuji, so what does this mean? And they're asking each other, learning from each other, talking about Krishna all the time. So this devotional service is like a seed. If it is sown in the heart of a living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the seed fructifies. With the regular watering, every day you're watering with Hare Krishna mantra. So it is fructifying, right? Slowly it is growing into spiritual plant of devotional service. And then it will enter into Brahma Jyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. You move on upstairs, you keep on, that the tree is growing up towards the spiritual sky. And the plant is growing more and more until it is reaching the highest planet, which is Goloka Vrindavana. And Krishna is going to see us, because we shouldn't be trying to look for Krishna. We should work in such a way that Krishna is going to look for us. Where is that devotee? I want to see where the devotee is. And it is explained here that the complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. Once we become completely absorbed in the love of God, we have to have that. Then what happens? Such devotees, they cannot even live for a moment without being in contact. They feel a little uneasy if they are not in contact with Supreme Lord. How? The analogy can be given as a fish which cannot live without water, right? It cannot live outside. If you put it outside, it will just die. So that is how the devotee's position becomes completely. So after describing how his devotees worship him, second verse, 10.9 was how his devotees worship him. He is going to explain how he responds to their devotional services activities, how Krishna responds to their devotional activities. Let's see that. So it's like, magnet, everything getting sticking to that magnet. That's how devotees are. Okay. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. Yes, Asha Prabhuji, Kamlesh Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
That's what he does. So how does he respond? In this verse, you can see that he has used buddhi yogam. That's very dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamu payanti te. So when one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and is completely in Krishna consciousness, in devotional service, his action is called buddhi yoga. In other words, buddhi yoga means what? It's the process, how to get out of this entanglement of this Maya, this material world. So what is the qualification? What is the qualification for it? So the person who is always engaging himself in Krishna consciousness, lot of love and devotion, is rendering all that in all kinds of services. You can do any kind of service. So the devotee who performs such sort of work for Krishna, doing everything for Krishna, and that work also should be with love. Not that, okay, I have to do, so I will do. No, not that kind of attitude. But if a devotee is not very intelligent enough to make the progress in this Krishna consciousness path, but he's still sincere and he is devoted to the activities of devotional service, but the Lord also gives them a chance. How does he reciprocate? He gives them a chance again. Come on. He will keep encouraging like a father, When a child is learning to walk, he keeps falling down. But the father keeps encouraging. When the child starts to learn how to ride a bicycle, so he is trying to balance, and the father is encouraging. Okay, you have fallen down. Doesn't matter. This is usual. Everybody falls down. Come on, get onto the back. Come on. So the Krishna also gives a chance. He says, come on, make progress. Come on. Ultimately, you must come to me. So he is stretching his hand across and says, come to me. So that's how he responds. Then Krishna goes on to tell what happens when we receive the divine grace of Krishna. So when we do that, Krishna reciprocates by saying that, come to me, I will give you that kind of understanding. So how does Krishna help those devotees who engage in devotional service sincerely but are not intelligent?
B, option B.
Prabhuji?
of the above.
C, both of the above.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Very nice. तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्तः ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता. Yes, Asha Prabhuji, would you like Swaminathan Prabhuji who wants to read?
Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
So why do we have born out of ignorance? Ignorance means because of the contamination of this material association in this Maya through millions and millions of birth, lifetimes of birth we have taken. Our heart is completely covered with the dust of materialism, completely. Actually, what is our goal? Our goal is to go back to Godhead, go back home, go back to Golok Dham. So how to achieve it? It can be achieved by few things. What can we do to achieve? Go back. What can we do, devotees?
Chanting.
Chanting Hare Krishna,
Yes.
association of devotees.
Yes.
Prash-
ABCD.
ABCD.
Association of devotees. Reading Bhagavad Gita.
Reading Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, or Bhagavatam, chanting and eating
Prasadam.
Krishna prasad. Yes, very nice. So what will be the result of that? If we have done that, okay, then what is the result? The
We'll
dust.
ultimately go back to Godhead.
Yeah, that is the aim. We must go back to Godhead. That's surely our aim. But if we keep chanting, keep doing the devotional service, for what happens? The dust that has accumulated for millions and millions of birth, slowly it gets cleared. And then we get elevated to the platform of knowledge. That's where we start getting knowledge. Till then, you open Bhagavad Gita 100 times, you will still not understand. Unless and until you keep chanting, keep in association of devotees, we are learning, so that the heart purifies a little bit. And the moment we surrender completely to the Supreme Lord, he takes charge. He holds our hand. And then he helps us to completely get freed from all these kinds of materialistic endeavors. Then you won't have that taste for this materialism. You will not like it anymore. And then he will hold our hand nicely, pull us out of this cycle of birth and death. So that's what he will do. So we learn that, purity is the force. We need purity. And where will it come from? We have to read books. Scriptures are the basis for it. We have to understand through scriptures. So these 4 were the Chatushloki, which are very, very important in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, 3 steps to progress. How to progress further? So we have 3, like Sambandha, that is awareness, Abhidaya, which is the process, and Prayojana, which is the goal. Like we are always very curious, right? Who is he? What the universe is? What God is? What is our relationship between God and ourselves and God in this material world? Everything is, we have that curiousness. Like, for example, if you're going out somewhere and you are in a car listening to, say, Srila Prabhupada's kirtans or lecture or something, and suddenly your attention is drawn towards maybe a beautiful house, a bungalow, a nice bungalow, and you had always wanted that from God knows when. So what happened now? Your thought process, your thought has moved towards it. Wow, I have always wanted it. I love the color, the structure, and the style of that house. Start thinking. So what has happened now? Knowingly, unknowingly, you are driving, but you have seen something and you have made sambandha, means relationship, and awareness has come to you. Okay, that house, I like it. Now your awareness has shifted towards that house. You start thinking. Awareness has gone, thought process has gone inside. Now you start thinking, how can I get that house? Maybe I can ask my friend, or maybe my father, or maybe I can take a bank loan, or maybe I can sell my own old apartment and buy this new house. So the thinking process has started. So this process is abhidya. You have started thinking. Now you go home, 3rd process, and you start finding out more about the house. You will Google something, you will call the agent, and say, okay, can you tell me the price? Then you may call the bank also to find out about if you can get some loan or not, whether you're eligible or not. So that is, so what is the prayojana? What is the goal? That is to buy that house. So you can live luxuriously. That's the goal. So similarly, as a devotee, we must first form sambandha and be aware that Krishna is Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes. That's how we must make our relationship with Krishna. So next, what we will do, we will apply. So what do we start? We start with thinking about how to process this, how to apply this knowledge in day-to-day life and practice regularly. Why? We want to move ahead towards his devotion and service. That's the process. Like finding about the loan, talking to an agent. So we will start thinking, okay, associating with devotees, how to get good thoughts, maybe read Bhagavad Gita, what should be the process, start like that. Then what is our goal? Prayojana. Prayojana is what? We want Krishna's mercy so that we can surrender on to him, right? What is our goal? Like there, our goal was to get the house and live luxuriously. Here, our goal is to go to Golok Dham and live luxuriously in Golok Dham. So that's how 3 steps we must use to get Krishna consciousness. Okay. Let's read this one. Okay, who didn't read? Asha Prabhuji, can you read? Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Shall I read it, Krishna? Shall I read Mataji? Arjuna
Translation,
said,
yes, Prabhuji.
translation part only. Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Such nicely is accepted. Now Krishna is in 12th and 13th shlokas. He is accepting. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna, I know. Parabrahma Parandhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishayas Sarve Devarishir Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. He says, I have no doubt at all. You are Parabrahma Paradhama. I boldly declare that, Krishna. It's not because Krishna is Arjuna's intimate friend, that is why he's trying to flatter him or anything. No, he knows that he's Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is just telling so that we, people like us, should understand that, you know. So he's trying to say, see, it's not that I'm just your friend, so I'm trying to flatter you. I have the evidence also. So what is the evidence he's presenting? Many, many great people have said that. That is why, you know, whenever we want to tell about something, we always give evidence. Not only me, my sister, my brother, they have also seen this. I'm not the only one who has seen this. My brothers, we try to get evidence for whatever we do. So similarly, Arjuna is also saying, it's not only me who is saying that. People might think that, okay, I'm the friend, so that is why I'm flattering Krishna. No, great Mahan people also have said. Many people in Upanishads and all those great people have said that when great authorities testify, there is a credibility, right? So whenever we have certificate of recommendation, we get a signature from the CEO, dean, whoever, head of the department. Why? We need that, you know, great authorities when they are testifying, that's valuable, credible. So here he's telling, many saints have also said that. Asita, Deval, Vyasamuni, so many, Narada, so many have said that. He's quoting all that, Vyasa. So they have declared Krishna as Supreme Divine Personality and cause of all causes. So that's what Arjuna is telling over here. Which statement is not correct? Asita and Devala confirm that Krishna is Supreme God. Mayavadi philosophers think that they are absolute and independent of Krishna. Vedic literature confirms that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Smaranam is not the method of devotional service.
Option D. Smaranam is not the method of devotional service.
Muskan Mataji is very alert. Huh? Hare Krishna. Yes, right. Which process is recommended for understanding Bhagavad Gita?
B, Mataji.
Yes, correct. Very nice. Okay. Who's going to read now? Kiran Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, please.
O Krishna,
Hello,
O Supreme
Mataji.
Mystic.
Hare Krishna. Please read.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, we'll finish this.
Sure, Mataji. No, actually, the previous verse I was saying hello, but I think my mute button was pressed by mistake. Sorry.
Ah, okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Next slide you can read.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Kiran.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be recommended, O Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Yes, please continue, Prabhuji.
O Janardana, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you. Furthermore, I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna is never satiated. Arjuna he already understood Lord is Bhagavan, but he is asking for the people to understand that Lord is ultimate supreme personality of Godhead. It is for people like us who have to understand that he is Bhagavan. Arjuna already knows. So he now wants to know in what other ways, how shall I think of you? In what other ways can I know about your vibhutis, Krishna? How can I know? You are so majestic. Can you please tell us which have been displayed in this creation? So he wishes to know, to hear about Lord's position as supreme controller of all the creation. Can you tell me some of more vibhutis? Because he's saying, all your glories are like nectar, and they are for those who love you. So it is so transcendental. It is so divine, Prabhuji, the Lord Krishna. It is so transcendental and divine. I have been drinking this nectar nectar like words with my ears, and now he cheers. He says, Bhuya katah triptirhi shrunvato nasti me mritam. Bhuya katah means once more, Krishna, once more, please tell me more. His thirst, he wants to hear his glories. It's not satisfied. He is not satisfied. He is praying to Krishna humbly. Please reveal your glories, Krishna. Please reveal your glories. Why is hearing and reading about Lord and his pastimes are forever fresh and not tiring?
C, Mataji.
Option C.
Yes.
Both
Correct. Excellent. Okay. Yes, Srinidhi Mataji, can you read the translation? Hare Krishna. You have unmuted yourself. You can read now.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So many opulences of Krishna. Arjuna is requesting him to tell about some more glories and opulences. There are so many opulences. Those who think that they can count the glories of God have very childish intellect. We cannot count his glories. We may be able to successfully count the specks of dust, speck of dust on the ground on this earth, but we can never ever count the unlimited glories of God. Arjuna wants to know more about his opulences. So Lord Krishna says, okay, you're asking me, but I can only give you because my opulences are limitless, Arjuna. So, okay, I'll give you a small fraction of my vibhutis. I'll tell you a little bit about it, he says. So why is Arjuna wanting to know more? For common people, so that everyone can hear about Krishna's opulence. For the sake of devotees who taste the nectar, who keeps on, they keep on wanting to, they want to hear more about Krishna. That's why. And for personal absorption, so that one can think of him at the time of death. That's why he wants to keep on hearing about his opulences. So what is the food for thought here? The purer we become, the more we think about the Lord and others, and less of ourselves. That is true compassion. Why did Arjuna ask Krishna for the explanation of Krishna's all-pervading nature? Why does
B,
Arjuna
Mataji.
want Krishna to
B.
tell?
B
Option
for
B.
B. Correct.
Arjuna
Correct.
wants.
Correct.
None of the
Okay,
above,
so
Mataji.
now Lord Krishna, he has started telling his opulences. From 20th shloka to 42nd shloka, he keeps on telling everything about what all he is in his opulences. That he starts telling that from the Puranas, we came to understand that he is Sage Kashyap used to be there. I'll tell very quickly. Few I will tell quickly. Few I will leave because there are so many. There are a lot of opulences. This is just fraction of it, but there are a lot because time won't be enough. So Sage Kashyap had two wives, Aditi and Diti. From first wife Aditi, he got celestial personalities. So Lord Krishna states that amongst that Adityas, Aditi's children Adityas. So among Aditya's 12 sons of Aditi, Vishnu in form of Vaman avatar reveals his opulence. That's what Lord Krishna is saying, that among Adityas, I am Vishnu. At night, when all the lights, everything is gone, and there are stars in the sky, moon is there shining, right? So it is insufficient in removing the darkness of the night. But the moment the sun rises, all the darkness is dispelled. So that is the power of sun. So Krishna says, I am the light of the sun. I am the sun. Then that is his vibhuti. Then comes again Sage Kashyap. He had got Daityas also. From Diti, he got Daityas, demons, from his second wife Diti. So Diti, you know what happened? She once desired a son. She wanted that son to be more powerful than Indra. Indra was the celestial god. So Indra was a celestial god. She said, I want that kind of baby who can defeat more powerful than Indra. So she kept the baby in the womb for more than 1 year. Indra, he was scared. He used his thunderbolt and he split her fetus into many, many pieces. But it turned into many fetuses. And they became Maruts. Or Marut means wind. 49 kinds of winds they became, and they flew in the universe, right? So the chief of that was called Parivaha, and that name was Marichi. So Lord Krishna states that his vibhuti or opulence manifests in the wind called Maruts. So that's what he says, Marichi, sorry. So among the, of course, stars, the moon is the prominent, so he is moon. Then among Vedas, he's the Samaveda, because Samaveda is, it's very musical. It's very pleasing to the ears. So it is sung in praise of Lord. So he is Sama, he says. Then Krishna is what? Vasava, Indra. So Krishna is among demigods, because Indra is the chief of demigods. So he is Indra. Lord Krishna says, I am the mind among all the senses, because 5 senses will function correctly only if mind is attentive to them. For if mind is gone, like you are sitting with Bhagavad Gita class, but if your mind has wandered away, your senses will not function properly, right? You are hearing with your ears, but your mind has gone somewhere. Okay, I have to have my dinner after this. After this, I will do this. Your mind has wandered away while we are speaking over here. Words are lost to you. You will not even understand what I'm saying or what am I doing, because you're not hearing. You're hearing, but mind has gone away. That is why mind is the king of senses. Krishna is the consciousness, because without the consciousness, the body is of no use. So consciousness exists in the soul by divine power of Krishna. Among all the Rudras, he is Lord Shiva, Krishna says. Shankar is the original form of Lord Shiva. Among Yakshas, that semi-celestial beings, Kuber is the head. So Krishna says, I am the Kuber. Then among the priests, the main head priest of heaven is Brihaspati. So he says, I am Brihaspati among all the chiefs. Then among the generals, Skanda means Kartikeya. Kartikeya is the son of Lord Shiva. He is the commander-in-chief of all the devatas. So he says, I am the opulence of that. Krishna further is telling what? Among the bodies of water, I am the ocean. Then Brahma, first living creature. He says among them, his son, among these sons, Brigu. So among all the sages, Brahma was the first living creature, right? So he gave many, many sons. Among those sons, Brigu was the most powerful sage that time. So he says, I am Brigu. And of course, transcendental vibration. So he says, among the vibrations, I am Om. What else? What other proof do we want? Om. Krishna says, I am Om. For the practice of, all the ritualistic holy chanting, holy japa, he says there are so many number of rules are applicable for yajnas, but in japa yajna, no rules. So of all the sacrifices, he says chanting of holy names. I am the chanting of holy names. And in Kali Yuga, keval naam adhara, sumri sumri nara, uttarahin para, means in Ramayana it says, right, in the age of Kali, chanting and remembering God is the most powerful means of crossing this Maya. Then after chanting, immovable things like many, actually, if you go to Himalayas, there are many, many sages, they say, who are residing in Himalayas. You can't see them. They are practicing penance for God knows for how long they have been doing it. So they are sitting in invisible form. We can't see them. In subtle form, they are there. So therefore, the Himalayas, it's the greatest mountain in the world, and that represents Krishna. Then comes immovable trees. Banyan tree, Ashwatha tree is one of the highest, most beautiful trees, and people often worship that tree. So Buddha also meditated, and he attained enlightenment under a fig tree. So he says, among that, I am holy fig tree. Then among the sages of demigods, Narada, who doesn't know Narada? Great personalities, right? So among the sages of demigods, Narada. Among the singers of demigods, among the singers of demigod, among the Gandharvas, Chitraratha is the best singer. So I am that. Among the Siddhas, the Kapila was the son of Devahuti. He is actually a representation of Krishna. So it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Then among perfected beings, Kapila, then what happened once this Samudra Manthan happened? The Devata and the demons, they were doing that Samudra Manthan. I don't know whether you remember or not, that story we read when we were during our childhood. Churning of the sea happened, and the poison came out, nectar came out, poison, Lord Shiva drank the poison. And from the nectar, many, many things were produced. Many things came out. Out of that Utteshrava, that horse came out. And even Airavata, the elephant also came out. They was very special. So Utteshrava was, having a winged horse, celestial winged horse. It belonged to Indra, and even Airavata, both white color. So that both represent Krishna, he says. Then we have so many. I'll try to be as quick as possible. Among men, I'm the monarch, means king. King is the representation of Krishna, he says, because Krishna is the maintainer of the universe. Then among the cows, he is Surabhi. Surabhi cow is the special cow which can give so much of milk. Then among procreators, he is the if you want to know about the thunderbolt story, there was Vajra, weapons, second one. I'll tell very quickly. Once what happened, in Puranas it is written that there used to be a great sage called Dadhichi. Dadhichi, Indra was there in the heaven. And once he was driven out of that heaven by a demon called Vritasura. So Vritasura had got a bone that he could not be killed by any weapon made till then. Till then, whatever weapons were known, he couldn't be killed by any of those weapons. So in desperation, Indra went to Lord Shiva. Shiva, please help me, what to do? So he said, okay, let's go to Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu told Indra that the only weapon that can kill Vritasura will be a thunderbolt. That also has to be made from the bone of sage Dadhichi, because Dadhichi had done a lot of penance. So Indra then went and begged sage Dadhichi, this is the problem, what to do? So he said, okay, I will sacrifice my life. If devatas can be saved by that, I can make use of my life, no problem. But I wanted to go on a pilgrimage, and I wanted to take bath in all the holy rivers around. Indra said, I don't have much time. So what I will do, I will bring all the holy rivers to you in Naimisharanya, where the sage Dadhichi was doing his penance. I'll bring all the rivers over here. Okay, Sage got it. And once his wish was fulfilled, he gave up his body through, of course, yogic techniques and all that. And then the thunderbolt, that Vajra, was made from the bones of Sage Dadichi. And then Vritasura was defeated. And then again, Indra got his place in heaven. So Lord Krishna deliberately is using the word thunderbolt over here because that's the glory of God, right? He didn't say his Shankh, Gada. He is not talking about any of his thing because he wants to glorify this one. Then, of course, among the cows, as I told you, Surabhi cow, then Kandarpa is the Cupid. But that sex thing, sometimes sex is engaged for sense gratification. That sex does not represent Krishna. Sex for generation of good children is called Kandarpa or Kamadeva. That represents Krishna. Among the serpents, Vasuki. Among many hooded Naga servants, Ananta Shesha, because on whom Lord Vishnu rests. He possesses 10,000 hoods. And it has been said that he has been describing the glories of God since the beginning of the creation. But description has not yet been completed. So many vibhutis are there. And then Devata Varuna is among aquatics, is the celestial god of ocean. Then third son of Aditi, Aryama, he is worshipped because he is the head of departed ancestors. Then Yamraj, who doesn't know Yamraj, the god of death. So he arranges to take the soul and then he gives justice according to whatever actions we have done, and then gives us punishment or reward accordingly in the next life. So he says he's perfect dispenser of justice. Then, as I told you before, Aditi and Diti were two sisters. Sons of Diti were called Adityas, and son of Diti were called Daityas. So all the Adityas are devotees of the Lord, and Daityas are atheists. They don't believe. Prahlad Maharaj was born in the family of Daityas, Hiranyakashyap, right? But he was a very great devotee from his childhood. So he is considered a representation of Daitya demons. Prahlada is the representation. Even though he was born to Hiranyakashyap, Prahlad is best reflects God's glory. Then time, of course, nothing is greater subduer than time, because that's the mightiest enemy. We don't have time. We need to fight with the time. Out of all the animals, lion is the most powerful and ferocious. So he represents lion. Then among the birds, Garuda, because Garuda is the divine vehicle of Lord Vishnu and greatest among birds. In nature, of course, wind, because it purifies, it converts impure things into pure. Whenever there is a nice fragrance, wind is blowing, you get nice smell. So it's a great purifier of nature. Then Lord Rama is the wielder of weapon. He was the most powerful warrior on earth that time. His bow was the deadliest weapon. But just because he had a lot of superiority, he never tried to show that. He was very, very humble all the time. He lifted his weapon only for the good. He was avatar of God. So Krishna identifies with him also. Then among the fishes, shark is one of the biggest, and he dangerous also. So it represents Krishna. Flowing rivers, Ganges, everybody knows it descended on earth from the celestial abodes. Then among the creation, he says, I am the beginning, middle, and the end. And then next one is among the sciences, spiritual sciences. He says, I'm all the Vedas, all the Vedanta sutras, it all represents Krishna. And among the logicians, because when you do the discussion or something, it has to have a logical conclusion of the discussion. So he says, I represent conclusive truth. So whatever is ultimately conclusive truth, that's me. And then in Sanskrit, all the letters, they are formed with a, unless and until you join a. If you have a ka, half ka plus a becomes complete ka. So that a akshar is very, very important in Sanskrit. So he says that a comes from me. And then in Sanskrit again, there are compound words that's called Dvand Samas. And Krishna, like Radha Krishna, it's a Dvand Samas. Ram Krishna, Dvand Samas. So Krishna is highlighting that is his vibhuti. And then among the creators, firstborn Brahma. He says among the creators, he is Brahma. Then comes so many. Then death. Death everybody knows. The last stroke is death. So death is Krishna. Mrityu sarva haraschaham udbhavascha bhavashyata. Certain qualities in women are there, like fame, fortune, and these are Prajapati Daksha had 24 daughters. 5 of them were called the best of women. So Kriti, Smriti, Medha, Dhriti, Kshama. So they represent, he represents women among them. Fame, fortune, speech, memory. Women have all these qualities in them. Lot of good qualities in women. So he says, I represent those qualities in women. Fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience, he says. So among the hymns, he is before he said, right, he is Samaveda. Among the Samaveda, Brihat Sama, which is more melodious. It is sung during midnight, so that he represents. Among the poetry, Gayatri mantra is very, very important in Vedic civilization, right? So he is considered the sound incarnation of Brahman. So he is the among poetry, he is the Gayatri. Among the months, he loves Margashira month, November, December. Among the seasons, he loves Basant Ritu, that is spring. And among the gamblers, among the cheaters all over the universe, very interestingly, he says among the cheats, Krishna represents gambling. So as a Supreme, Krishna can be very, very deceitful also, much more than anybody else. If he chooses to deceive someone, nobody can surpass in his deceit. So, but Krishna not only is mentioning the virtues, good points, but he's also mentioning the vice also as his opulence. It is a real vice because it can ruin families also, right? Yudhishthir, we know his weakness for gambling, which led to Mahabharata war. But if gambling is God's glory, then there is no harm in it. Then why is it forbidden? We can get that question. Answer is that God is granting us little bit of intelligence. He is giving us little bit of power to the soul. He is giving us the freedom of choice. You can take that choice. But if we choose to forget that, then he gives us the power to forget also. Like electric power. We use electric power. It can be both used for air conditioner also and for the heater also. The user is free to choose how to use that power. Power is coming. You want to switch on the aircon or you want to switch on the heater, up to you now. Does not mean that powerhouse that is supplying the energy, that person is not responsible for use or misuse of power. It is up to us how we do it. Similarly, the gambler is also possessing intellect supplied by God. If he decides to misuse that God-given gift, God says, okay, I'm not responsible for your sinful deeds. So among the splendid, he is the splendor. Among victorious, he is the victory. Among the enterprising and industrious, he is the most enterprising and industrious. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurer. Then when Krishna was present on this earth, no one could surpass his strength also, right? Even in childhood, he lifted his Govardhana hill on his little finger. No one can surpass him in cheating also. No one can surpass him in his splendor, or in his enterprise, or in strength also. Then he was born in Vrishni dynasty. So he was the son of Vasudev. So he is the descendant of Vishnu, Vasudev. Among the sons of Pandu, he says, I represent Arjuna because he's the best of men. And among the Munis, he is Vyasa Muni. He is the greatest, right? He explained all the Vedic knowledge in many different ways, for especially people like us in the age of Kali. Then among the thinkers, he says, I'm Shukracharya. Ushana means Shukracharya. He's the spiritual master of the demons. Extremely intelligent, extremely far-seeing politician. Shukracharya was very, very smart and very intelligent. He's another representation of the opulence of Lord Krishna. So among the chastisers, punishments, he is the rod of chastisement. Means whenever somebody has to be punished, he is the cause of it also. He is there to represent that. And then among the victory seekers, he is the morality that signifies the path of righteousness. Then among the secrets, confidential activities of like hearing, thinking, meditating, silence is very, very important. So because by silence only we can make progress when we are doing meditation very quickly. And then among the wise, he is wise man is a person who can discriminate, right, between the matter and the spirit. What is the body, what is the soul, between God's superior and inferior energy. So such wisdom is Krishna himself. We could finish 64 opulences that Krishna's just now. It took us a little while, but we could do it. Okay, furthermore, who will read next? Sandhya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. Hare
So
Krishna.
without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. He is all powerful, omnipotent. Without his potency, nothing movable, non-movable, nothing can move. Like living beings, we are born in 4 ways. What are the 4 ways? One is andaj. Andaj means born from eggs, like birds, snakes, and lizards. Then there is called Jarayuj. Jarayuj means born from the womb. Womb like humans, cows, dogs, cats, mammals, right? Swadesh means born from sweat, like lice comes out of sweat. Then Udbhij means sprouting from the earth, like plants and grass and corn and all that. So other life forms are also there, like ghosts and evil spirits. But Lord Krishna is the origin of all of them, he says. So he's saying, I am the seed of the universe. Like all the cloth has come out of cotton. No cloth can exist without cotton. So that's how Krishna says, I am the origin of everything. Let's see the next one. Yes, please. Who has not got a chance, you can start again if anybody wants. Yes, Pranjal, would you like to read? Hare Krishna. Yes, Riya Mataji.
O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences.
There's so many. He's concluding that topic now. From verse 21 to 38, he described his infinite opulences. He's now saying, I have spoken only one portion. Eshatu deshata proktaha vibhuter vistaro maya. I have spoken it's just one breath of the topic. Vistar, I didn't, it was vibhute vistaro maya. I've just told a little bit of whatever. Then we get this question, oh my God, if everything is opulence of God, then what was the need of mentioning only few of them? Then answer is that Arjuna had asked Lord Krishna how he should think of him. How can I think of you? Whenever I want to think of you, how should I think of you? So Krishna said, okay, I'll mention some of my glories because you have asked me. But why did he do so? Because mind is like that. It draws towards something attractive, something special, right? So if we come to know, Krishna represents sun. Oh, Krishna represents moon. Oh, so then we remember. Like advertisement that I used to see when during my childhood, even now it might be there. Amul's hoardings in India, very funny and interesting sometimes, right? So whenever you see and remember then you remember, oh, Amul butter. Like for Sachin's 100th run, he said he came, he saw, and he conquered. And the saw is like, SAW. We see these ads and we always remember this ad celebrated 100 runs scored by Sachin that time. So saw means 100. Like even in a paint company, they will say, whenever you see colors, think of us. And like some TV ad, somebody was telling me, like, kya chal raha hai, fog chal raha hai, something like that. In this case, Krishna is like saying, wherever you see a display of glory, think of me. So when you see special things, you will think of only Krishna. Okay. So who would like to read this? Hare Krishna. Please unmute quickly and read, whoever. Hare Krishna.
But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
So Lord is telling Arjuna that he should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as super soul, from Brahma to all gigantic entity down to the smallest ant possible. All are existing because of the Lord has entered into all of them, right? He is sustaining all the living entities. Now Krishna is saying that entire creation of unlimited universes, it is held by the fraction of being. It's fraction only. So we may get this question: why does Krishna is referring to that fraction with a single fragment of myself? He's saying, right? Fraction of my being. The reason is that entire material creation that is there, right? Which is having unlimited universes. That's only 1/4 of God's entire creation. 1/4. Because the remaining 3/4, you know what it is? Spiritual creation, as you can see in the picture. Spiritual creation is 3/4, 1/4 is all the material creation. And this was given in Purusha Suktam. If you know Purusha Suktam, the evidence is given over there, as you can see in the screen. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripasyamritam Devi. Means what? It means that temporary, this whole temporary world, it has been made from material energy and is one part of Supreme Divine Personality. It's written very clearly in this. And other 3 parts are his spiritual abode that are beyond this, the phenomena of whatever, the cycle of life and death. So Arjuna realized Krishna's position, as Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we must remember, anything good in me is a reflection of Krishna. Whenever you see anything good, that's Krishna. So with this, we come to an end of chapter 10. We learned that source of everything, to know Krishna, he is the source of all. He is known yet unknown. He is known to only his pure devotees. What is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? We must create some kind of sambandha, awareness, our relationship with Krishna. Then we must process that. How to achieve Krishna? We must start thinking how to associate with devotees, read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, chanting. Then what is the goal? The goal is to get love of Krishna and go to Golokadham. Then we have Arjuna wanted to enlighten more. He wanted to know more about the opulences. He accepts Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He gave many references about great personalities because he wanted to show that it's not only him, but many great entities are also giving the credit and authorizing it. Then Arjuna was very eager to know about more opulences. See Krishna everywhere. Krishna reveals his Aishwarya, that he is the essence of everything. So whatever you will see here is Krishna everywhere. So Krishna is unknowable and source of all. Pure bhakti, essence of Bhagavad Gita, the Chatushloki, Matchitta Madgata Prana. Then Arjuna accepts Krishna's supreme position. Then Lord Krishna describes his vibhutis. So tomorrow, chapter 11, Arjuna is going to request the Lord to show him his Vishwarupa, the infinite cosmic form. Hare Krishna.